Hello, Werus is very excited to present the full details on Dave Maryland's criminal complaint to the Congress of the United States. This important complaint reports very serious crimes that are being committed against all citizens living in the several states by the IRS and the Department of Justice. This action program has proven to be a strong procedural tactic against these agencies' misconduct and misapplication of the tax laws. If you are concerned about the fraudulent activities of our government, you will want to pay close attention to this presentation. Werus, nor any associate or group members, do not advocate for anyone not to pay duly owed taxes. To the contrary, everyone should pay the taxes they are legally liable for, nothing less and nothing more. It is important, however, for you to know what taxes you are liable for paying. Dave's original complaint was filed in December of 2005 directly to Congress, and now Werus offers you the opportunity to study and learn the key legal points of the verified memorandum and support section of the complaint. Once you understand why the complaint was filed and the key legal points, Werus and Dave offer you and other American citizens an inexpensive method to become a joinder to the complaint. It is important for you to review and study Dave's overview of the memorandum. You can access the memorandum PDF and Dave's audio tour by clicking the download button in this section. Dave Maryland is a government policy analyst and legal advocate. Dave began his legal investigative journey having a curious intellect about legal statutes and codes and how they work within the boundaries of the legal system, and especially how attorneys and government agencies may be misapplying them against unwitting American citizens. In this journey, he, like many Americans, had dealings with the IRS. Being a skilled legal researcher, he began to study the tax honesty movement within the patriot community, thinking that their research would be sound and a basis for his education. Like many who take this journey, he came away confused because some arguments seemed right at first. Then he found two parts of his conclusion that disturbed him. First, there were too many conflicting arguments. Second, their arguments were producing no positive remedy results for those that were implementing the principles in practical application administratively or in the courts. Thus, most who applied the principles were in jail or going to jail. The only conclusion for Dave was that he could not rely on anyone's investigative findings, and if he was going to understand what the real truth was, he would have to conduct his own investigation and research project, which is what he did. He completed his formal exposition of the tax code in 1994, and his ongoing research and briefing on the IRS tax code are anchored and derived from his work on the Internal Revenue Code, which revealed a pattern of unauthorized modes of enforcement. In 2005, Dave completed and filed a very detailed and comprehensive criminal complaint to Congress to expose the misconduct and misapplication of the law. This action formally placed on the record that the IRS and the Department of Justice were openly and knowingly misapplying the tax laws of citizens of the United States. In 2006 and again in 2009, Jim Garrison, a IRS enrolled agent and accountant since 1973, signed under oath that tax enforcement was criminal based upon his forensic audit of Dave's formal exposition. His affidavit was sent first to 80 members of Congress, then to each of 9 U.S. Supreme Court justices. To date, Dave's complaint and memorandum of law has not been disputed. In law, he who does not dispute a claim on record within a given period of time validates the claim. Since the original filing, Dave has been using his foundational complaint to set up an educational network so American citizens can learn of the complaint and these misapplications and abuses. 3 citizens under criminal investigation who joined the complaint shortly after the original filing have not received an indictment by tax grand juries between 2006 and 2010 during their IRS CID investigation. Others who have joined the complaint have had IRS stop administrative actions against them. One of those who used the complaint in his dealings with the IRS, the Department of Justice, the United States District Courts, and the grand jury was Chris Chappie Chapman, creator of Werus. Chappie has been working with Dave for several years, and in November 2010, Chappie created the movement called Werus as a national media center for education on the Constitution, IRS law, and the Department of Justice's misapplication of the law. The Werus site has included the complaint as one of the key educational programs, and once fully educated, offers all American citizens the opportunity to become a joinder, which is a legal term meaning to join in action, and to participate in the expansion of this complaint program. This national expansion will be accomplished through the Werus affiliate groups formed across America, with each group holding meetings and recruiting members while remaining closely tied to the main Werus team and the education and informative website. Please review the group program by clicking the Werus affiliate group buttons. Chappie and Dave, through the Werus website, have established the complaint expansion program using the affidavit of joinder so that these educated Americans can participate in stopping this type of abuse by joining the existing complaint with their filed joinder affidavit. The obvious motive here is that more Americans that join the complaint, the better. The combined efforts of Dave and Chappie through the Werus site are designed to bring a strong awareness of these issues to the American citizenry. and apply tremendous pressure on our politicians to correct this wrongdoing. It is very important that you understand why you need to be a joinder to Dave's original complaint. There has been a tax honesty movement in this country for many decades. For all those years, legal researchers have been carefully and professionally poring over the Constitution, the tax statutes, and regulations. The disturbing findings were that government agencies are not following the Constitution or the tax code as written by Congress. These actions by government actors are a complete violation of their oaths of office, as well as violations of several sections of U.S. Code Title 18, Crimes and Criminal Procedures. It's always been hard for Americans to believe that this kind of open criminal activity is actually going on within our government. However, over the last 10 to 15 years, with the ability to share information over the internet, Americans can easily verify for themselves that this fraudulent behavior is real and that the researchers sharing the facts have the evidence. There are still lots of Americans who are naive about this misapplication of tax law. The WeRS team, with the help of the WeRS affiliate groups, have taken on the challenge to educate the whole nation on the facts of the violations against us, our Constitution, and the laws. Knowledge is power, and nowhere has that been proven more than in the research, education, and implementation of the filing of the criminal complaint by Dave and the joinder affidavits of the people. Look, no citizen is really free when a government can number you and then steal your money. Go up to the block button and read Jim Timken's article, You Are Numbered. Once you are educated and you understand that crimes are being committed against you, under our system of law, you are obligated to report crimes to authorities. Dave Maryland has worked for years to arrive at the truth, and his action in reporting his findings of criminal activity is a major asset to every American. The filing of the original complaint and you becoming a joinder sets in place for you the tools you need to implement an offensive action plan when the IRS begins its abuse and fraudulent actions against you. Think of the joinder as an insurance plan. You would never think of not having insurance on your home, your car, and probably your life. There are no guarantees that your house will not burn down or your cars will not be totaled. And if these things happen, even if you do have insurance, you may not get all the money you think you should get, but you wouldn't think of risking going without insurance. The same is true with your relationship with the IRS. There are no guarantees, but the complaint and your joinder give you the tools, and on the offense, not just defense. It is usually just a matter of time before they get around to abusing you, and as they say, there are no guarantees, but it never hurts to have a plan and a little insurance. It is absolutely imperative that you follow the WeRS education plan. First, get the Breaking Your Presumptions series, and then click on the button at the bottom to study Dave's educational overview of the memorandum of law filed with the criminal complaint. Next, get in the game. It is my opinion every American, once they get educated on the abuse of power from the government, has an obligation to become a joinder, to report the crimes against you. Also think of forming a WeRS affiliate group to help spread the word all across America. Just click on the WeRS affiliate group button at the top. Okay, let's get to your next question. What is this going to cost me? Simply, this package will cost you $310, and we'll go over exactly what you get for your money. But first, let's establish that in the years just after Dave filed, those who decided to file also had to file their own 180-page complaint to every agency and official that Dave did. This was time-consuming and very costly, and a lot more than $310. Under the new WeRS and Dave joint plan, becoming a joinder, meaning attaching you to this original complaint, is simpler and a lot less expensive. Once you have completed your joinder payment process, you will be directed to the joinder information form where you will fill in your specific information so we can complete your criminal complaint verified affidavit of joinder. Next, you will receive by email the completed affidavit in Word document format, and you will print 6 copies and have each signed and notarized. Then you will mail 4 copies to Chappy Chap, you keeping 2 originals for your files, and to make copies to send to your sheriff, district attorney, state's attorney, and the governor. Also, you can send a copy back with your response to any IRS letters or communication. Chappy will build 4 packages to be sent registered mail to each of the appropriate agencies and officials of the original complaint, and at that point you become an official member of Dave's complaint joinder database. Once Chappy receives back the registered receipt, those will be sent to you. As a part of the original complaint, your joinder becomes federal evidence that you can use to inform the IRS and Department of Justice officials that you are a federal witness as a participant of the original complaint. Also, if you are called to a grand jury or you decide to file charges against government employees to the grand jury, your first action is to present your joinder and the original complaint to the jury and explain to them that you are there to report crimes perpetrated by the government employees involved with you and ask the jury to indict them. After you have completed your filing, American Liberty's Chappy Chapman and Dave Maryland will be available to consult with you at a discount hourly rate to discuss your conditions. You must note here that the $310 cost is for those that are in an administrative relationship with the IRS only. If you are involved in a filed civil action or a criminal action, this package is not for you. It is advised that you contact Chappy to set up a consultation with him and Dave to discuss your situation. In our opinion, you should not procrastinate about becoming a joinder. The best position is to have it in place when they come a-calling. Like a good Boy Scout or Girl Scout, you must be prepared. Like we said, there are no guarantees when you are dealing with criminals within the the government, but by being a joiner, you have the offensive ammunition that you need to fight them. Without the products presented by We Are Us, your chances of winning are very, very slim and none, and mostly it's none. If you are not willing to do the things you need to do to fight these crimes against you, then you should just forget this and file your income taxes and let them take your money. So if you want to join other Americans in this fight and you have the funds available, order this joiner package now. If you don't have the funds now, let me put it bluntly, do whatever it takes and get the funds. If you want to get started, click the button below that says click here to become a joiner. Also, make sure you review the We Are Us affiliate group program and breaking your presumptions of the IRS.